Rhonda, and you're watching Happy Threads Girl channel. This channel is for adult collectors age 13 and up, about American Girl dolls, collecting American Girl dolls and the hobby. So if you are new here, I'm so glad you were able to find your way to this cozy little part of the internet. And if you are returning, you know we're going to talk about all things 18-inch dolls, from the fashions to the dollhouse tours to crafts to all things 18-inch doll related. So anyway, today topic is going to be getting to know me, getting to know you. So my channel is growing and I'm so excited to see that. And I'm starting to find new channels that I hadn't found before because you guys are subscribing to my channel. So I'm subscribing to your channels and watching your channels. And as I watch your channels, I'm like, gosh, I wish I knew just a little bit more about them. So I thought, if I want to know more about you, you might want to know more about me. So I came up with 20 some questions that I'm going to try to answer as I dress some dolls here. So I'm going to put these questions in the comments. So if you want to answer them, either you can answer in the comments or you can maybe make a video, and I would love to watch that video to get to know you a little bit more. So anyway, that's where we're going to get started. So so my first question is, I have them here, so I'll be looking over here every once in a while. What drew you to collecting American Girl dolls as an adult? So for me, it was the level of detail. So, and maybe a little bit of the nostalgia factor. So I had gotten one doll for Christmas in 2017, and then kind of was like, do I want to have more of them? Because, you know, if you have one, you have to have a friend type thing. So as I kind of was thinking about that, I started looking into what other, other things. And of course I stumbled on Julie, and then Julie reminded me of my own childhood, and just the level of detail and the nostalgia was what drew me to collecting American Girl dolls as an adult. And then, how is my collection a reflection of my personality and creativity? So how it is an expression of my personality and my creativity is, one, I get to make things for them. So that's like really fun, that I always feel like I'm making something for a doll. And so I have that expression there. And then, but how it reflects my personality is, it does definitely have that kind of 70s vibe, I guess, kind of that vintage eclectic look to it, which is kind of like how I am. So that's a way that it expresses my personality. So yeah, that's how my collection expresses my personality. Question 3 is what does doll collecting mean to you on a deeper level? So what doll collecting means to me on a deeper level is the fact that one of the things that I loved about dolls when I was a child was dolls are something that have a lot of aspects of play. So you can play independently, you can play with one friend, you can play with multiple friends, you can have simultaneous play, one group, two groups playing dolls and having, competing storylines going on. So and in that too is like dolls aren't just one thing. It's not just playing with the doll and having the doll act out something, or it's also creating things for them. It is dressing them, it is styling them, it is coming up with personalities for them. So it's also, for an adult collector, it is finding storage and inventory for them. So it has a lot of levels for me that it hits, but it also, in a lot of ways, and like on the deeper level, I'm going to say it kind of helps heal the inner child. As I'm dressing dolls or, rearranging them or creating, doing setups with them, it is healing that inner child. So in that way, I feel like that's the deeper level. It helps connect and heal that inner child. So that's where the deeper level is for me. What is something that is misunderstood about adult doll collecting? I think one of the things is that, like, I don't know, I feel like I'm being judged or looked down upon because you collect dolls? Do you play with them? Is a question I'll get asked every once in a while. And it's like, I guess I do play with them. Do I dress them? That's playing with a doll. Do I set up little scenes with them? I do. That's playing with a doll. So yeah, I play with my dolls. So am I an adult playing with dolls? Yeah, I am. But I struggle in seeing the difference of being an adult doll collector as opposed to being a person who goes to sporting events and supports sporting events, or who you know, plays sports. You know, you still play children's games and leagues as an adult, and that's acceptable. No one's like, you're not still playing baseball, are you? You know, like, that's not judged in a way that I feel like doll collecting is. Or even collecting baseball cards. Like, if you're an adult who collects baseball cards, I've never heard one single person say those were for children. You know, like, adults have kind of taken over baseball cards, if you want my honest opinion. I don't think kids even care anymore about it. More adults care than a child cares. So, but they were for children. They were intended for children. So that's the thing that, like, I feel like is misunderstood or not fairly represented. So here's a little what we got going on. I need to get the shoes, but I have this pile of shoes, and kind of how I dress my dolls is I put all the outfits on and then I put the shoes on after I get all the outfits on. It's a system. It works for me. So anyway, the next one is when you picture your happiest doll moment, what is happening in it? So I've had like so many happy doll moments. So many. I'm so lucky. I'm lucky that I have like a great family, in the fact of that I do have a lot of support from my family. And so like I do have some good family memories with that one. So like a quick one is there was a time where my sisters and I all got together as adults and we played with my dolls, and we all took turns. We were dressing them. So we had one sister who was doing the hair, and one sister who was putting on the shoes and the accessories, and another sister who was, you know, picking, and then, well, two of us were picking out outfits. It was a very fun day. So I have that fun memory. I have a fun memory of my son-in-law coming over one day, and he was bored, and he sat around and dressed dolls with me. So that was a fun memory there. So I've had lots of fun memories with dolls in that way. But my biggest, and probably like the one that still is like touches my heart, is my friend that lived in Colorado and has since passed. And it's hard to believe it's been 4 years this month since she's passed. But you know, not to get super crybaby about it, but you know, I do miss her a ton, and she definitely was a great friend. But there was a group of friends out there in Colorado, and we all got together one day. She wasn't feeling well, and she invited us over to the house, and we said, and she offered to make us lunch, but we told her, no, we want to bring you lunch. So we bought her lunch, and we sat out on her beautiful patio in beautiful Colorado and ate lunch with her. And then we all had, well, 3 of us had hot air balloons, the Sage's hot air balloons, and we did a little balloon festival, and just the laughter and the fun that we had of spending with that friend. And that's one of the last days I was able to spend with her, and it's just such a sweet memory to me. The joy that we had that day of friendship and collaboration, and coming and visiting a sick friend who loved dolls. And so that's a special happy memory for me. So I will always cherish that as one of my happiest memories. But like I said, I have probably 20 happy memories that I could tell you about. So I do love that. So I really hope that you guys comment at least on that one. Like, what is your happiest doll memory? How has collecting taught me anything unexpected about myself? So one of the things that doll collecting has taught me is to have some discipline. And because if you don't, you can't collect it all. You have to be able to have some kind of like discipline. I mean, I guess there are people who can collect it all, and I want to be friends with you, because if you have it all, I want to come to your house and I want to see it all, because I love it all. I just can't have space for it all, and I have to have some discipline about it. And so that's the big thing about being disciplined and about what I have in my collection. There are many things I'd love to have. I'd love to have Grace's Bakery. Would love to have it. I also know I don't have the room for Grace's Bakery. So cute. So like that's those things, maybe loving and appreciating things, but being able to say, I don't have room, I don't have space, and being disciplined and staying to that. So that's probably the biggest thing that collecting has taught me, is discipline. How do I make space in my life physically and emotionally for this hobby? So physically is, it takes up a lot of room in your house. So I do have to definitely make sure that I keep things organized. So that's the big way. That's one of the ways that I keep things physically available, or available for me to make space for the hobby. And then the other one is, emotionally, is I have made a decision as I went into 2025, because I really hadn't been super active with the dolls, that I would change them seasonally. So I am making sure that I'm changing the dolls seasonally. I'm also want to make sure that I'm connecting with other people. So restarting my YouTube channel is one of those ways that I'm making room emotionally for the dolls in my channel, in my life. And then the next question I have is, what do I hope that people feel when they see my hobby or see my collection and my videos? So I hope the thing that you get, or anyone gets from any of my videos in my collection, is joy. Like, I just want to have joy. Like, it makes you smile, it makes you laugh, it gives you a little bit of a, spark for the day. Like, there's something in there that just brought you joy. So that's the big thing I hope that my collections and videos give you, and a sense that you belong too. Like, that I feel like I'm a good sharer. Like, if you come to my house and you want to touch something, you're absolutely welcome to touch it. If you're friends of mine and we want to get together and we're working on a project together, I want your voice heard too. So I guess that's a big part of it too, is I want to have joy and inclusivity and space to make you feel like you're heard too. So that's what I want out of, I hope that people get from my videos and when they see my collection. What's something that I've learned through storytelling about the dolls? So something that I've learned about storytelling is to just be true to the story. Stories can be simple and still have meaning. Stories don't have to have big, grand things to them. So I think that's the big thing, that just being true to the story, and that's kind of, that's all I got out of that one for that question. And then my 10th question is, what kind of stories and feelings do you want my collection to represent? So once again, I'm going to say that I really want my collection to represent everybody. Like, I want it to feel inclusive and that everybody has a space in my collection. So, I want my collection to look diverse, and my storytelling to have that diversity to it. I feel like that's what makes this a richer world. It's the tapestry of life. If it was all one color, there's no picture. We need all the colors. We need all the different shades in there. So we need variety in everything. And everybody, without that, we're not a whole picture without the color, without the diversity. So that's one thing I definitely want to make sure that is in my stories, and those feelings are there, that that there's representation in there, because that's important to me. And then also, I guess the other side note is, like I say, that I want to that I want to tell the stories of my childhood, my spouse's childhood, my children's childhood, my mom's childhood, my sister's childhood. Those stories are, to me, so fun, and I loved hearing them. So, and I want to retell them in a creative way through my dolls. So the next 5 questions I kind of broke up to be kind of like craft and dollhouse questions. So maybe not everybody will be able to answer these, but hopefully some of you can. And so, what is the favorite thing that you have ever made for your dolls? So, gosh, I think my favorite thing that I have made for the dolls is coming up in a video. And so I've already talked about it in the video I just put out. And then I have another video coming up. It's going to be the London phone booth. I have to say, it's probably my favorite thing. And I didn't technically make it, but it is my favorite thing but if I'm going to say something that my favorite thing I've ever made, my favorite thing I've ever made, that now I think about it, is the 12 sweaters I sent to Mixie Pixie for her back in 2017. I sent her 12 Christmas sweaters for her dolls, and then she put them in a video. It's the Ugly Christmas Sweater Contest video. So if you ever never seen it, go check it out. I love her channel anyway. She's got the cutest darn little stop motions ever made. So Mixie Pixie 7, check out that channel, and you can see in the Ugly Christmas Sweater Contest from 2017, there is a video, and a lot of those sweaters are featured in there. So that would be the favorite things I ever made. What is my favorite technique or material to use in doll craft? So I have two answers for that. So one is yarn, because I love to knit. So anytime I can knit, I love that. So I make tons of doll sweaters. I actually have an Etsy store that I sell the doll sweaters at, because I need to get rid of them, because one person does not need to have hundreds of sweaters. So if you need a cheap doll sweater, go check out my Etsy store, because I sell them cheap because I need to get them out of my house. And then the other craft product or technique that I use is the insulation foam that you can buy. And if you check out my craft video that will be coming up, or maybe released, I'll show you what that is. And so I really love using that. So those are my two favorite things that I use. And then let's see. Then the next one is, where do I get my inspiration for my dollhouse builds and my dioramas? So I get them from lots of places. I get them from you guys out there who have channels, because you guys are doing amazing stuff. So I get them from YouTube. I get them from Pinterest. I also get them from the AG craft books, which I've already done. I feel like I'm pitching my own videos here, but I'm not. I don't mean to in that way. But the AG craft books, I get lots of inspiration from that. Obviously Pinterest, because I do love Pinterest. Facebook, because there's lots of people posting things on there. So that's, once again, I get those ideas from you guys. And then the other place that I get a lot of ideas from is the Happy Helper. He's definitely he is a inspiration kind of guy. But one of the weirder places that I get some of the wonkier ideas is from my own brain. My brain just comes up with some weird wonky stuff. And so sometimes I just scratch the itch and let the brain have its way, and we make the weird wonky craft that I have come up with out of my brain. And then the fifth question is, do you prefer creating full sets, little details, or props? So, and why? Why do you prefer that? So, so for me, I prefer to create the grand sets. I love them. I've already mentioned that I think I am a set designer. I'm not, but I mean, I will be going to school for cinematography in the fall. And so maybe I will become a set designer. Who knows? It all started here with AG. So that could be a great story, right? I mean, wouldn't it be funny? You know, I win an Oscar and I'm like, I have to thank American Girl Doll for my opportunities to start building sets for my dolls. So, but yeah, it is like, I do like the bigger sets. So that's my preference. And then the last one is like, this one, I kind of feel like, I hope everybody answers this, because these are some of the big questions I have as I watch people's videos. And it's, how would you describe your collection? Is it themed? Is it historical? Is it eclectic? Are you a completist? What type of collector are you? I struggle to define what kind of collector I am. I really don't. I don't know how to define it. I guess I just will always say I'm an eclectic collector. I don't collect everything. I don't necessarily feel like I have to be a completist, with the exception of Julie. I do feel like with Julie, I have to be a completist. But everybody else, like if I get from their collections what I enjoy getting, I don't feel like I have to buy it. I don't feel like a collection necessarily belongs to that doll. If I can be true in representation of that doll, like I won't take Claudie's set and reassign it to another doll. I mean, I did put Claudie's outfit on a non-black doll, but for one picture, you know, like that collection belongs to Claudie. Just like I wouldn't take Ivy's collection and give that to anybody other than Ivy, just because like there's some things like that I have some like kind of, but otherwise like I don't care, you know, like I bought some of Covey's collection just because I liked the Wicked outfit, so that I did buy those. So in that way I can be kind of inconsistent is the word I'm going to say. I mean, I could also say hypocritical, because let's be honest, that is pretty flippin' hypocritical. But I do try to say, keeping collections of dolls that have importance, like Addie's collection, like that really needs to stay with Addie. It doesn't need to be mixed and matched through other dolls in a lot of ways. So there's that. That's how I feel about that with my own collection. But anyway, I just want to hear like how you defined your collection, or how you define yourself as a collector. And then in your collection, are you focusing more on storytelling? Are you focusing more on storytelling, photography, completist? Like what is your focus of your collection? So my focus, like I don't know if I've mentioned this, but I'm just gonna say my focus is to have dolls from the 1930s to the 1990s, just representing stories of my family's life. That's what my focus of my collection is. So what's your focus? And is there a message that you want your collection to give off? Like, I want my collection to give off joy and inclusivity. Is, what are you hoping that when people look at your collection that it's giving off? So that's my other question. So I have two more, and I'm just going to kind of go through those real quick. And then, do your dolls have backstories? I always wonder about that. Do you have, like, what is the lore of your doll collection? And if you do have them, how do you get there? How do you develop those stories? And if you do have a backstory and you do have lore, what is the one detail that nobody knows but you? So for me, I definitely do have a backstory for my dolls, and that is Happy Hollows. And I'm starting to kind of get to the point where I'm going to be able to tell those stories. I keep saying I'm going to, but I really am. I've been like kind of crafting some things for that. And then the other thing is, like I wanted to make sure I had good solid lore, built. So I've got my lore pretty solid right now. And it is those stories of kind of like, for me, the dolls tell me who they are. So some dolls I bought with the intention of them being that character. Some dolls came to me and told me who they were. So I don't know if that happens for you. But the one detail that nobody knows about my lore, except for me, is how Cece's family has their wealth. That's the only I'm the only one that knows that. Nobody knows that answer except for me. So what is that one piece of information that only you know and nobody else knows? You don't have to tell me, but you can tell me what it's pertaining to. And then the last question is, how do you decide if a doll belongs in your collection? Like, what makes you decide, like, yep, that's the one, nope, off the chopping block? For me, it is, do they speak to my heart? Do I look at them and like know that they belong in Happy Hollows? Like, do they have a point of view that is going to be unique and would tell a great story? So that's how I decide. So anyway, that is my 20 questions that I have about my collection, and that I'm curious to know about your collection. So if you guys want to dress your dolls and answer these 20 questions and put a video up so I can watch it, I would love to watch it, and I will definitely comment, like, and share it. Yeah, I'll do all those things. So if I can, I'm gonna put the questions in the comments there for you. And then I will probably put them running along the bottom too, so that will kind of help there too. But anyway, once again, as always, thank you so much for stopping by and spending some time with me today. I hope you learned a little bit more about me. And I just want to say, and hopefully I'll deliver it correctly this time, that our lives are woven together through threads to make the tapestry of life. And every thread tells a story, and your story is worth telling. Bye for now.